Just for Joe, we've spent some money, and we've gotten a truck all the way down in South Africa. And joining us now, Landon Donovan.
No way! Oh my God. No way!
The hero of yesterday's game.
Way!
Live
Look
for
how
you.
cute he is.
Wow. This is unbelievable!
Adorable.
Oh my God!
You are
Good morning.
This
better than anybody. That's just not right.
Looks exactly
Did I
the
just
same.
say
Look
he
at
was
this.
adorable?
Yeah.
Well, it's over because he's old now. We just talked about that. Here with us now from the Los Angeles Galaxy, Landon Donovan, and from Toronto FC, Michael Bradley. Very good to have you both. Landon, I'm so sorry to hear about your age. 31.
I had a lot more hair there.
He says, I'm 31 and I'm old.
I am
But
old.
that's in soccer years, Mika. It's like dog years, right?
You're not
I
helping
mean,
me,
similar,
Thomas.
yeah.
I know.
What does that make me, Landon?
You're beautiful.
I'm 46.
How's that? You look great.
Right. You are in such an awkward position right now. So from there, I will tell you that you brought out my inner youth down at a bar, and I believe Lower Manhattan, when during the World Cup against Algeria, you scored a goal. Is that the way you say it? And I flipped a table.
Did you really?
I did.
Why so
were
violent?
Well, I don't know. We were so excited. It had cameras on it, and it had all this food and drinks, and oh my gosh, everywhere. It went
Real
everywhere. And you
Housewives
know
of New
what?
Jersey
We were all
excitement.
going so
That was good.
crazy, we didn't even notice we flipped the table.
That's beautiful. I
Thank
like
you
to
for
hear
that day. You really, it was the funnest thing I've ever seen. So great to have you guys in the show. One of the questions we have in terms of where Major League Soccer is going, to the U.S., it's going to Miami, it's going to New York in 2015. How big could this get?
Well, I think it's on its way to getting big. I have a guy next to me here who's spent most of his career in Europe and decided now in the prime of his career that he wants to be here and playing, and so it's a beautiful thing. There's a lot of momentum behind our league, as Joe will tell you, unfortunately, who's not here, but it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
It is fun to be a part of, but at 26 years old, being in his prime, Thomas.
Which is great. And a
yeah.
Jersey boy.
Yeah,
coming
Jersey
back
boy.
to the
Are you
States.
coming home?
I'm coming home. I'm coming
that's
home, and I
nice.
couldn't be happier about it.
That's awesome.
But Michael, when you were in Europe playing, what's the difference between the culture that is football in Europe as opposed to what we know as soccer in America, and why it hasn't kicked into high gear like it has overseas?
You know, it's just it. They have hundreds of years of tradition, of culture. It's ingrained in the people there, and we're on our way. You know, it takes a little bit of time, but what we're building now with Major League Soccer and with the national team, it's something special, and it's going in the right direction.
And Landon, is that what we need to see back here in the States, getting more talent, like a Michael to come home to help build up the American teams?
Yeah, I see it two ways. It's bringing talented, good players now, and then it's developing young players that want to play soccer in our country. Obviously, we have a lot of great athletes who play a lot of different sports. We need to keep bringing them into soccer and eventually become a soccer nation that can compete with everyone.
I think that's the key. The programs, I mean, soccer, sometimes you see it only in certain communities, and now they're putting them on city rooftops and in the inner city, and it's giving kids a place to go, number one, and a sport that they can become obsessed with at an early age.
Yep.
And it is grueling. It is the most grueling sport, I believe.
We think so.
I think so, and rough as well. So we have the impact of David Beckham and stars like you. What are the options you're giving up when you turn to the States, for example? Because as you said, it's so deep-seated in Europe. It's part of the culture. It's part of the history. You could be a star in Europe forever. Am I incorrect?
You're giving up at the moment the chance to play in Champions League. You're giving up at the moment the chance to play for still the biggest clubs in the world, but to be back and a part of what's going on here, to be back and as you said, giving the kids in this country, in North America, people to look up to give them the hope that and to allow them to dream that they can one day play professionally here and play on at the highest level on the biggest stage. That's something special.
Ah, it sounds worth it to me. It is so nice to have you both on the show. The new MLS season kicks off on March 8th. Landon Donovan and Michael Bradley. Such a pleasure to
great to
have
have
you
you
on the
here.
show.
Thank you, guys.
No
Hi, Joe.
segment?
We miss you, Joe.
You love Joe, right?
Sorry, Joe.
His son Joey is
Feel
kind of
better.
obsessed as well. They get up really early in the morning and go to bars in the city and watch you.
These guys are crazy.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, obsessed.